Welcome to Nourished and Ready, the podcast about nourishing your body before, during, and after pregnancy. I'm Maya, and with me, as always, is Sara. Let's get into it.
And this podcast is basically the conversation we wish someone had with us a few years ago.
Okay, real talk. When I first started thinking about having a baby, my entire nutrition plan was take a prenatal vitamin and stop drinking wine. That was literally it.
Same. I assume the important stuff started the moment you got a positive test, like, okay, now I eat well.
Right? And then I actually started reading and I had this moment of, oh no. Oh, no. We have been missing something really significant. We're not
Nutritionists, we're not doctors. We're two women who got curious, started digging into the research, and could not stop talking about what we found.
And today we're starting at the actual beginning, not the beginning of pregnancy, but the beginning before the beginning, the months before you even try.
So here's the thing that completely reframed everything for me. Are you ready for this?
Ready.
So, every egg in your body has been developing for about 3 months before it's released.
3 months. So the egg that you ovulate in November, its health, its quality, how well protected it's been from damage, all of that was being shaped back in August.
Which means what you ate in August matters for that egg, not what you're eating the week you try to conceive. August.
That completely blew my mind when I first understood it, because it means the preconception window isn't just nice to have, it's foundational. It's when the conditions are being set.
And let's talk about what we actually mean by egg quality, because I think this gets thrown around without a lot of explanation.
Yes, it sounds kind of vague and medical, right? Like, what does it mean in practice?
So, an egg is a cell, and like every cell in your body, it needs specific nutrients to function properly, to copy its DNA accurately when it divides, to generate the energy needed for fertilization and implantation, and to resist damage from what's called oxidative stress, which is basically internal cellular rust, wear and tear at the cellular level.
And if those nutrients aren't consistently available, if the environment that egg is developing in is depleted, you can end up with what researchers call chromosomal errors. Right. And the egg's genetic copying process makes mistakes, and that directly affects your ability to conceive, your risk of early miscarriage, and the healthy development of an embryo.
This isn't speculative. There's a lot of solid research on this, and what's striking is how preventable so much of it is.
So let's talk about what depleted actually looks like in real life, because most women I know don't think of themselves as nutritionally depleted. They eat what they think is a reasonable diet.
Right, and here's the thing. Your body has a priority system. When resources are limited, it protects your survival first, your heart, your brain, your basic metabolic functions, and your reproductive system is lower on that priority list.
Which makes complete evolutionary sense. But it means if you're running low on, say, folate or iron or vitamin D, your fertility-related processes are among the first to feel the impact, often before you feel anything yourself.
The research that really opened my eyes to this was from a nutritional scientist who spent years in medical libraries studying this topic. And one of her central observations is that malnutrition before conception can cause damage that lasts a child's entire lifetime and may not even be obvious at birth.
That's a heavy thing to sit with. But I think it's important, not to create fear, but to create motivation, because the flip side is equally true. When you nourish yourself well in the months before conception, you are creating the best possible conditions for a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby.
And the research shows that when mothers are fed as well as present knowledge permits, the troubles usually associated with pregnancy largely disappear. Largely disappear. Can you imagine? And we're going to be spending this whole season unpacking what that actually means in practice, what to eat, what supplements matter, what to stop eating, how stress affects everything.
But today, the key message is start now, wherever you are in your journey. Whether you're actively trying, just thinking about it, or in the maybe someday category, the habits you build now are laying the groundwork.
The minimum recommendation from researchers is 3 months of nutritional preparation before trying to conceive. Some experts say 6 months is better, especially if your diet has been pretty processed or if you've been on hormonal birth control for a while.
We'll do a whole episode on birth control and nutrition. There is a lot to say about that.
So much. But the big takeaway for today, this is not a 3-day detox before your positive test. This is months of consistent, real nourishment.
Before we wrap, one thing I want to say is that this doesn't have to be overwhelming. It really doesn't. It's not about a perfect diet or an expensive supplement protocol. It's about whole, real food eaten consistently with a few specific nutrients that most of us fall short on, which we will cover in detail starting next week. Episode 2 is all about the specific vitamins and minerals that matter most before conception, what they do, where to get them, and what actually needs to be in your prenatal vitamin.
We'll be talking about folate versus folic acid, which is a difference that genuinely matters. It really does. Vitamin D, iron, B vitamins, and a few that most people have never heard of in this context. Thanks so much for being here for our very first episode. We'd love to hear from you. What brought you here? What are you hoping to learn? Find us wherever you listen to podcasts, and we'll see you next week. Take care of yourselves. You're already doing something good just by listening. Before you go, if this episode made you think of someone, a friend who's been trying to conceive, a sister who's thinking about starting a family, someone who just found out they're pregnant, please share it with her. Send her this episode. That's how we grow, and more importantly, that's how this information reaches the women who need it most. You can also find us on Facebook. Search Cellular Healing, The Real Transformation. It's a community built around exactly what we talk about here: nutrition, wellness, and giving your body what it truly needs. Follow us, ask questions, and build a strong community with other women on the same journey. We'll see you next week for episode 2. Until then, nourish yourself well.